Millennial retirement is like summiting Mount Everest. For many, it will be impossible in the face of inflation, rising prices, and unchanging salaries. What can you do to be not part of the many? Here is how I came to this realization and my high-risk plan. So the idea for this video came when I looked at my assets on mint.com. You see, in 2016, I came to Birmingham, Alabama with nothing but $2K and a bag. And when I first started my job here, that's the reason I came to the USA, that was when I immediately started a Mint account in order to track my assets, my debt, and my net worth. And that's the number one problem. A lot of people are not even tracking their assets and their debts. And if you're not tracking your assets and your debt, how do you know what you have to retire on? So back to the story. My first half month's paycheck was $2.5K. And after that, my paycheck for the month was $5K. But that's where things started, because you know that saying, spend as much as you make? That's exactly what I was doing, because for the next 2 years, my assets did not grow above 20K. Now, I was around 25 to 27 years old back then. Today, I'm 32, and at the rate I'm going, I realized that I'm not gonna retire. So this week has been a week of reflection. And looking back in the past, between 2021 and 2023, my net worth has basically stayed the same between the ranges of 100 to 120K. And that was problem number 2. You see, my net worth was not growing, but inflation was. And it took COVID for me to realize how much I really spent on fun. I mean, there was way too much traveling, dance events, eating out, which didn't help me grow into a better person. All of that money and time could have been better invested in myself. So spending less was the hardest thing for me to do, because I had to start saying no to fun invitations. And for me as a person, saying no was always a hard thing for me to do. And on top of that, I had to stop seeing friends who just did not seem to care about their retirement nest egg. They are not retiring. And that's problem number 3. You see, many people are hanging out with the same people, doing the same thing every year without realizing that it's probably not aiding them with their retirement goals. So 2023 was a lot of growing up. I learned to say no to people, and I moved away from friends who kept the same lifestyle, a lifestyle that cost more. Retirement is not on the horizon for them. It's in another galaxy. And to make it worse, those same things cost more now because of inflation. So my lifestyle completely changed in 2023. I mean, I still spend, but I don't spend as much as I did in the past. And everything that I do spend on are usually business expenses, so they're tax deductible. And they make me into a better person. Now, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but even with a frugal lifestyle, every time I look at my paycheck and I look at the cost of living, I get reminded that there is no way that I'm going to retire by age 67. And that's how my high-risk plan to retirement came to be. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Albert Einstein. Working at my job day in and day out, expecting to retire one day is not going to work. I mean, my salary was 100K in 2022. In 2024, it's going to be 106K per year. That's an increase of 3% per year. And for comparison, egg prices increased 52% from 2019 to 2023. So the bottom line is, I'm not going to retire by doing the same thing again and again. That's my job. It's impossible. I have to raise my income, and for average software engineers like myself, the best I can hope for was $250,000. That's probably the highest that I'll make, and after taxes, that will be $168,000, and that's for me not living in San Francisco. Meanwhile, I am on X seeing young adults making $45,000 per month working for themselves. And then the light bulb moment came. I have to start my own side hustle in order to raise my income. And the side hustle that I started was a Magifier, which I am documenting the entire journey right here if you want to check it out. So that is my high risk plan. How I see it is that you can continue being employed, and you should when you're first starting out your side hustle. And you could try to be that small percentage that actually makes 250K. But let me tell you, I really feel like that is the surefire way of never retiring. Or you could take the second route, which is try to start your own side hustle at first, which turns into a business and give you a sliver of a chance at actually retiring. You know, most think of starting a business at high risk, but you know, the last couple of weeks, I've been having nightmares of being fired from my job. And when I'm fired from my job, there goes my entire income. And if you look at your salary versus the inflation, the rising costs, do you really think that you have a really good chance of retiring?